What is Kang's most deadly weapon in the Council of Kangs? Let's see what the Marvels would say, but let's check this out.
The incredible variety of Kangs from across the multiverse means that the infamous Conqueror can be consistently reimagined, readapted, and continually evolve with the passage of time, and become whatever may best suit his current environment. In the MCU, it's been indicated that we will see several different versions of the time-hopping tyrant over the next few years, and if we are counting the version we see in the Quantumania trailer, then we already know of 2 iterations thus far, which is only now just the beginning. Until now, it's been widely hinted that different variants will serve as the antagonists for different respective projects, which seems to make sense. But this leaves us to wonder which Kang will serve as the final culmination to his time in the multiversal saga. If Kangs are going to routinely challenge the Avengers, then what is the conflict ultimately leading to? One particularly intriguing option that has recently surfaced is that there won't simply be one Kang who will face down the Avengers in the Kang dynasty, but it will actually take inspiration from the Council of Kangs, the collection of multiversal variants who all work together to further their agenda. So, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's talk about the Council of Kang. Discuss what several variants teaming up together might mean for the future of the MCU, and how this council might have come to be. First, let's begin with what we know about the Council of Kangs from the original comic book run. Originally formed in the realm known as Limbo, the Council of Kangs was exactly as it sounds, a collection of different Kang variants who collaborated and shared regular meetings in order to support one another in their goals and maintain order across their various empires. In the MCU as we currently know it, we have reason to believe that something similar to this might have existed at one point. Whether or not it may exist again, however, remains to be seen. In the season finale of Loki, He Who Remains discusses how the multiversal conflict started, and he claims that it even began relatively peacefully. He states that the variants of himself began to visit each other's realities, sharing technology, collaborating on projects, and generally getting along for the most part. It was only after these relationships evolved that malicious variants began to arise, and while it started slow, it eventually escalated into all-out war between the multiverses. While we know that this animosity largely existed between most Kang variants, it does show that they have a natural affinity for collaboration and cooperation, as well as a mutual respect for one another. Who is to say that a particular collection of Kangs didn't continue to collaborate and aid one another even after the war began, creating an alliance in order to fortify their territory and establish diplomatic relations between their timelines? Since the multiverse is functionally infinite, they can continue to each claim independent territory that is not only not their own, but also doesn't belong to anyone within this coalition. It's also important to mention that in the comics, the Council of Kangs has a fluid roster, with members continually joining and leaving the organization. Some end up turning on the council and igniting more conflict within the ranks of this exclusive group, while others simply leave due to basic disagreements, all while allowing this lineup to circulate throughout the multiverse. This fits in line with what we know about the Kangs, and would make a compelling live-action adaptation for the Marvel Multiversal Saga's finale. We also know the writer tapped to pen the Kang dynasty is none other than Jeff Loveness, who is most well known for, of course, Rick and Morty, which is notorious for their depiction of the multiverse. One of their most iconic storylines involves the Council of Ricks, a series of Rick variants who behave very similarly to what we might see the Council of Kangs, and how they interact with one another in the storyline, sharing technology and ideas while also clashing and coming into conflict with one another. So then, what would it mean for the future of the multiversal saga? And more importantly, what would it mean for the Avengers who are tasked with fighting said Kangs? Firstly, it most notably elevates the threat level and the stakes at hand, as multiple timelines would be under the grasp of this organization, and it's likely that several different multiversal variants of iconic heroes would be needed in order to fight against this newfound threat. Each individual Kang is formidable in their own right, and over the course of the next several years, we are going to see multiple variants crop up in different places, but eventually, one at a time might become manageable for our heroes. If one collective of Kangs reaches across dozens of timelines, however, then one heroic battle between several multiversal heroes and dozens of Kangs might liberate multiple timelines at once, and put a stop to the single greatest army of Kangs that the multiverse has to offer before leading into secret wars. Recently, we have theorized as to which variants of Kang we might get to see in the next several years, depicting some of the most notorious iterations iterations and analyzing exactly where we might find them. But seeing several fan favorites that survive resurface could be a compelling personal connection as well. If multiple Kangs survive their encounters throughout Phase 5 and 6, only to resurface as a collective, then it could build a personal connection to each respective threat, rather than simply introducing more and more variants of the same individual. If we are to see the Council of Kangs make their MCU debut, then there is theoretically a limitless well of content to draw from, and the potential ramifications of this group could realistically reach across dozens of timelines at once. It could impact not only the MCU, but other timelines, including that of Earth 838, the Fox X-Men, or the Fantastic Four timeline, either live-action Spider-Man universes, or any other conceivable Marvel property that's already been released in the past several decades. Long story short, many believe that the most dangerous part of Kang is his weaponry, or even the fact that there are lots of him, and a near endless amount of variants from across the multiverse. However, Kang's most dangerous weapon is when all of them come together and collaborate, very similar to the Council of Reeds, which is far more famous in the Marvel comic book run. There is also the Council of Kangs, and if the Kang dynasty is to live up to the greatest threats that the character has to offer, then it's likely that we could see the Kang dynasty form, and the Council of Kangs be the true, main, overarching threat of Avengers 5 and 6. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this idea of introducing the Council of Kangs into the MCU? What do you think this group's goals and agendas might be? And how will they clash with one another? And how would this pose an even greater threat to the overall fabric of the multiverse as a whole? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching and continuing to support the channel. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I hope that you have a great day.
Yeah, please subscribe, like this video for watching. Have a great night. See you guys. Bye.